You know who it is. It's your boy Your Mouth. You know I got you covered. What you hear is not my opinion. It's other people's opinion. Fair use. Let's get into it.
Yeah, see, that's the truth of it. And what I try to get single moms to understand is that wanting to have someone to emulate, it cannot be you. Because what they struggling with and what they trying to figure out, man, can only be taught by a man. I'm telling you, Jalen, let me ask you something, man. How do you think it went?
I think it went really good because first when Ben came, I thought he was a stranger to me, and I didn't want to like say anything to him. Like I thought this was like a joke at first. Like I didn't like really take it serious, but then at the end of the day, I started thinking. I was like, this is somebody that can help me out. This is somebody that is successful in life. They've done things that I would like to do, be very successful. When I got stuff off my chest, like manhood, he said it's like it's real, like the real world. It's crazy. Like things happen. It's not like given to you. Things are.
Jordan and Caden are Tara's sons. Jordan, when you, how do you feel when your mom tries to teach you about being a man? Tell her.
To be completely honest, she can't.
Mm-hmm.
Because she is a woman.
Yeah.
She can teach me what I've got in my 21 years here. She can teach me how to love.
Yeah.
But only my father can teach me how to be a father. Only my father can teach me how to be a husband. She can't do that. And actually listening and taking in everything that I like just heard,
Yeah.
I've come to the revelation that I spent my whole life trying to not be my father. And I actually would like to look to you two for advice and you as well, because I don't know what that means. I don't know if that's a good thing or if that's a bad thing, but I spent my whole life trying to not be somebody instead of trying to be somebody.
Wow.
Now that I can't be that person, like I don't know who to be.
You are. Beautiful.
That's
Beautiful.
fantastic.
Beautiful. Mom, take your hands off her. Let's acknowledge how the mom for a moment, because she made the classic mother mistake, which is focusing on what you don't want. I don't want the streets to get him. I don't want the drugs to get him. I don't want him to do this. But did you ever affirm to him what you did want for him? I want you to feel good about yourself. I want you to feel strong. You may have said it, but mother, you put the don't wants into the energy. And that's the thing that we don't understand as mothers, that what you say and how you hold it. This young man, my son, taught me something very powerful when he was sitting inside the prison. When he said to me, you always told me what I shouldn't do. You never told me what I could do. He said, you always told me what to think, so that when I thought on my own, you made me wrong for it. He said that to me, and I said, well, how can I do better now? And he said, listen and be my friend. I was so afraid he was going to fail till I forgot to affirm his success.
Whoa. Hallelujah, sweetheart.
So, wow.
What do you really want for your son? Like, what kind of father do you want your son to be?
I want my son to be the kind of father that's there for his child financially, emotionally, physically, in all aspects, in all areas.
Right. So here's the thing, and this is the thing I think for you to wrestle with, and I think it's a conversation for you and your ex. It's difficult to be what you don't see. Not impossible, but it's difficult to be what you don't see. If you want him to be that kind of father, then it's more likely he's going to be that kind of father if he can see that kind of father.
Correct.
Right? And I really think that a big part of this, and I think where a lot of this breaks down, is when the communication between the mother and the father breaks down, and everybody, like I said, retreats to their corner. I take the kid, my kid, her point, right, and he does his thing, and it's not in the best interest because your son's still going to have to work through all of those issues, and after a while, he'll just stop asking you. But that doesn't mean he's going to stop feeling anything that he's feeling, and he'll start telling himself his own story, which a lot of times is not an accurate story.
Okay. Beloved sister woman,
Yes.
I want to point out something to you. He said, what kind of father do you want your son to be? And the first thing you said,
Financial.
I want him to be there financially first.
I was going to let her off the hook on
Children
that.
do not know anything about finance. That is not for your son. And when you don't get that financial support, whatever comes up for you, whether it's bitterness or anger or whatever, I'm telling you, with your best intention, it influences your relationship, your son's relationship with his father. Put the finances on the bottom, not on the top. Go ahead.
I was going to ask,
Put your love on top.
do you are you getting the financial support from him that you want?
No.
No.
Okay.
Right.
So, because here's the thing.
I know. No, you speak first. You're
Okay.
you're a guest.
The only thing I was going to say, and this is, I think, a trap that a lot of women fall into, but you fall into it in parenting, but you don't fall into it in life. If you try, it's like child support. If you try to chase the wallet, right? You try to chase the wallet as opposed to chasing the heart.
Big.
See,
That's big.
See,
That's
if you chase the wallet and you don't get the heart, you get neither. But if you get the heart, you get the wallet too. That's my wife.
That's it.
That's what you gotta know.
One of the great teaching lessons for me on this show came in a moment with Erica Shipp and Miss Susie Orman. Now you will notice this moment when Erica Shipp actually gets it. It's one of my favorite things to happen. She actually gets it, and you can see the light come in her eyes when she hears what Susie is talking about. Erica Shipp is here. Erica's a mother of two, a prime example of what's happening to homeowners all over the country. What happened, Erica?
I purchased my first home with my husband. At the time, we had two kids, and I was pregnant. So excited to get the mortgage. We signed the mortgage with an adjustable rate, and when I signed the mortgage papers, it was fine. Now my house is in foreclosure, and my husband left me. So how can I dig myself out of that hole?
Yes, so what hurt you the most? That your house is in foreclosure or your husband left you?
That my kids have experienced me get put out of my home.
Right. If you choose to look at it that way, then it's a mistake.
It was.
Here's what you need to show your kids, that a home is not a house. A home is a family unit where you take care of each other. And if you can show them that you can rise above this, that it doesn't matter that you lost your home. It actually doesn't even matter that daddy left. All that matters is what it takes to make it work now. There are so many single mothers out there that are making it work beyond their wildest expectations. Here is what you have to watch for, however. As a single mother, as a woman, you are going to feel guilty that your children don't have a house and they don't have daddy at home. So you are going to take every penny that you make and you are going to spend it on them. So if you want to help your children, I am asking you to put the financial oxygen mask on your face first before theirs. Because it is a woman's tendency to put it on the kid's face first, and then if something happens to mommy, what happens to them? Can you see this as a blessing? Do you have what it takes to see this as a blessing?
Yes.
If you can see it as a blessing, you are the wealthiest woman in this room.
My son's father and I were together off and on for about 10 years. But when I realized that I was sorry, I decided that it was time for us to move on. The guilt is very, very heavy. I worry about my oldest son the most. He's dealing with so many emotions and he doesn't know how to cope with them, so he's shut down. When I ask him about his father, he just says, I don't care. I don't care. I don't want to talk about him. I don't care. I worry about the rejection that he feels. I worry that every time he has to experience some type of rejection, it's going to take him back to that place. It's been very difficult to watch my child basically fall apart.
Tanya and her oldest son, 17-year-old LJ, are here. So how do you feel? What are you're feeling right now? Stand up if you don't mind. Yeah. LJ? She said you were shut down. You don't seem shut down to us.
No, not at all.
I do tend to shut down just because when you're young, you feel like when you're young and I guess fatherless, you feel like you have to protect. I feel like I have to protect her. So showing my emotions because she does so much and she has so much on her plate. I feel like if I was worried or if I was angry, then I would just add more to her plate and I would just be a burden.
Mama, leave him.
Sorry.
And I know that she does so much, so I want to cause little stress. I don't want to.
You don't want her to see you being vulnerable,
right,
or to really know how you feel.
Right, and I want to protect her.
That would hurt her.
Right.
But you made that up. That you sharing with your mom your authentic experience would hurt her. You made that up. Right, Mom?
Yes.
Yeah.
I want to know how he feels.
Because why? Why? Why do you want to know how he feels?
Because I'm his mom. I need to know what he's going through so that I can help.
Maybe you can't help because the hole in his soul, the size of his father, you have nothing to do about that. So what would you like your mom to know about how you feel about not having a dad that you've never been able to tell her? Turn to your mom because she wants to know. Look at your mom and tell her.
Well, growing up, it hurt a lot knowing that you were the only ones at my basketball games. And when other people's father would tell me congratulations, my father wouldn't tell me congratulations because he wasn't even there. And you took that time and effort to always be there for me. And growing up, I did feel rejected. I felt like it was my fault that you two weren't speaking. And now that I'm a bit older, I do, sad to say, I feel a bit more sad for my little brother now that, because I don't want him to feel the same way I feel.
Take a breath. And what is it that you want your dad to know about you that he missed? What do you want him to know about you?
That I'm growing up and I think that you can't make up for lost time. And the way he can show me that he really wants to be a father is to be there for my little brother.
Okay, take a breath. So I want to point out two things here. First of all, she survived. Look at her. She ain't dead. Right? And Mom, he was able to share with you authentically, stand in his truth, and you didn't have to save him. Can you see?
I wanted to hear from a father who admits to walking away from his children. Now, he doesn't represent your father, but I wanted to get an idea of what goes on in a man's head when he can walk away. Dwayne in our audience says that's exactly what he did. Where's Dwayne? Dwayne? Yeah. Thank you for being here. And tell us why you left your kids and your wife.
Well, the situation was kind of volatile for a little bit. But the reason I walked away is because at the moment, I wasn't the man that I wanted to be for them. And one thing led to another, marijuana, alcohol. I put them on a higher pedestal than I put myself. So at a point, I wasn't worthy to be in their life that I would want for them. So that's kind of why it's.
And is that true, Roland? Would you stand up there?
Yeah.
Is that true in your experience in dealing with so many men that if they can't be what in their minds is the ideal,
Yes.
they aren't the quote perfect dad in their own head, that they just say, well, I'm just going to give it up?
Yeah, no, I see that quite a bit. And as a matter of fact, good fathers, they do three things. They provide, they nurture, and they guide.
Yes.
Provide, nurture, and guide. And the provide part, a lot of times guys will make that economics. If I don't have the right job, that kind of steam in the public square, then I can't do anything else. It's about presence with a T, but presence with a CE. That frankly is our culture. We almost talk about fathers almost solely as providers.
That's right.
If you look at the way the government sort of treats fathers, we have a child support system for dads who aren't married to mom, and then we have the tax code for the rest of us.
Yeah.
But there aren't really programs that really focus on the other aspects, which is nurturing, connecting heart to heart with your kids, the emotional well-being of your kids, and guiding, which is instilling values. And I find lots of guys like this, when they do that, they feel like I'm not worthy to be there.
Or the kryptonite for men.
Yeah.
I have found the kryptonite for men is inadequacy.
Yeah.
If they have any sense or feeling or belief about inadequacy.
Yeah.
I'm not good enough at this. I can't do that. I won't do it right. Is that accurate? Don't let me talk about you like you're not here.
Yeah, if I'm
It's
not
kryptonite.
perfect. Well, that's why I was trying, you just nailed it, because I was saying you have this version of yourself as being the perfect person, or as perfect as you can be.
Well, here's another point. I just asked him a question, which is, I already knew the answer before I asked him. And I said, what kind of father did you have?
My father wasn't there.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So you create this script of what this ideal father is supposed to be. And then you try to live up to a script that's not reality. You've been talking about that. And then when you don't, you feel I'm not worthy and you pull away. And this is why I was
And you're more likely to create the script when you haven't seen what a real father is.
That's right.
Kyle said he wondered why his father could not, why every day he made that choice. And we said he didn't really make the choice. He wasn't thinking. I think what every child wants to know is, were you thinking about your children?
Wait a minute, hold that thought. Sit 1 second and listen to you, what he was thinking when he wasn't in his child's life. Talk to him. Come, baby. Talk to him.
For me, I thought
As a father, what I thought about.
I thought about my children every day. And I thought about them consistently. Just because I wasn't there didn't mean I didn't love them. I loved them to the point where I had put them on that pedestal, and I had to work on me before I could reach them on that pedestal. So maybe your father hasn't reached that moment where he's comfortable with who he is in order to be a part of your life.
Period. Thank you.
This is fair use. It's not my opinion.
So former
it's just
NFL running back,
other
and fatherless
YouTubers'
son,
opinions.
Avian Kason is here with his 13-year-old son and his son's mom. So Avian says he needs this advice. So talk with us.
You got to excuse me for a minute. I grew up without a father, and when I talk to my son, I feel the same. I feel the same way. I feel like he feels the same way I feel with my dad. Resentment, and talking to him is so cold. But it's tough. It's tough.
Who's you?
I feel resentment with my father coming up because he's never been around. And when I talk to my son, I feel like he feels the same way.
Resentment towards you?
Yes.
Tell me what's going on, beloved. Can you talk about? If I come over there, would you talk to me about it? Dad, can I come there for a moment? If you sit right there with him.
Is it true that you didn't go to his recent graduation?
Yes, it's true.
You sit right there. Don't leave. Sit right there so you don't leave him. He's going to be here this time. All right? So tell me what's going on. Mom, he can handle this. You just breathe. Tell me what's going on.
I haven't seen him in a long time.
Him? And how does that make you feel?
We didn't hear what he said.
He said he hasn't seen him in a long time.
What's a long time?
Tell me what a long time is.
Since I was about 4.
Since you were 4. And how old are you?
13.
13. And what did you tell yourself about him when he wasn't there? I think it was a mistake. That you were a mistake? You feel like a mistake. Okay. And what did you feel about him when he wasn't there? I didn't have a father. Yeah. And have you ever talked to him about that? Okay. So Dad, turn around. You turn around. All right. What do you want him to know? Look at him. He's going to be here this time. Okay? What is it that you want him to know? Look at him. Tell him how it felt. Horrible. It felt horrible that you left me. Tell him. It felt horrible that you left me. It made me feel like I was a mistake. It made me feel like I was a mistake. And how did you... Now, what do you want to tell him now that he's back? That I love him. And? That I want him to be here. And tell him he doesn't get to leave you again. He doesn't get to leave me again. And to play with my heart. To play with my heart. I need you. I need you. And I want you. And I want you. Don't disappoint me. Don't disappoint me. What did you hear your son say? I want to hear what you heard him say.
He doesn't want me to disappoint.
No, you don't want me.
I hear you say you don't want me to disappoint you. I hear you say that you love me. I hear that you say that you don't want me to go and never leave again.
Yes.
It's just one thing. It's tough.
Tell him.
It's tough because I'm 2,000 miles away from you. I'm in Texas and you here. It's hard.
Can you text?
Yes.
Make an agreement with him and a commitment to him. When are you going to text him? How long? How often? When? Do you have a phone?
I text you all day, every day if I have to.
Not if you have to, Daddy. Okay, so now, Daddy, you sit here. Okay, I know this is going to be hard for you, so I'm going to sit here. He needs to see your vulnerability. He needs to know that you're vulnerable and that he's important and that he matters. Tell him your story. Tell him the truth. That you were fatherless and didn't know how to father. Can you tell your son that?
I never had a father, son. Never. Never showed up any games, anything like that. I know you like basketball. I want to be at all those games. I want to show you. I want to show you that. I want love that I have for you. I want to show that to you. I want to be here. And I'm going to be here.
Make a commitment
I can't have it. I can't. Me talking to you on the phone with a cold voice, and then I tell you that I love you and I don't hear it back. That hurts. I don't want to feel that pain anymore. I don't want to feel that.
Do you love him? Yes. Can you trust his love? Yes. You sure? Let him know I'm going to trust you. I'm going to trust you. But Daddy, your hurt is not his responsibility.
Both of you grew up fatherless sons. How were you able to close that gap for yourself, to go on and create a successful life and be a successful dad?
You know, my father would probably say that he was there. In his opinion, he probably still is, though we haven't spoken in years. Mm-hmm. And he, like many fathers, would say, if you need me, just call me. But to put that on a child is an absurd notion, even a grown child.
Yes.
So,
amen to that.
So for me, it was in absentia. I looked and I said, well, if that's how he's going to get down, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
And for me, it is a desire to want never to put a person through the pain that I went through of being in a place where I don't know answers. You know, to soldier through those times when I feel like I don't know what I'm doing. When I'm sitting there and I'm trying to figure out, I work with thousands of kids, but sometimes the ones that in my house confound me. So, like, I don't know. Send them to the school, I'll fix them. Get me at work. I'll have my work clothes on. So for me, it came to, well, I went through, there was a point at which I sat out the same window that everybody sits at, waiting for my father to come pick me up when he said he was going to come pick me up, and listen to my mother make up stories as to why he wasn't, and watching her dance the jig to try and figure out what, and you know, as an older person, I thought, wow, that must have really hurt her because she probably couldn't stand him either. So we connect on the fact that we were upset with him. And then there was a point where I just stopped giving a damn. You know what, dude, don't come. And then there was another point at which I overcompensated.
Which is where he is now. Yeah.
I overcompensated. And I said, you know, I'm going to do stuff so amazing, so mind-blowing. This cat's going to find me one day. He's going to look up on television and see his boy. And he ain't going to be his boy no more.
Yeah. Okay.
I think a lot of the men in this room, and probably a lot of the men listening, had a similar experience. I thought my father was absent simply because he didn't know me. And once I connected, it would be so powerful. He'd be like, "Oh my God, look what I've been missing." That lasted a few years before I found out it really wasn't that. He just didn't care. And this is a terrible thing to say. He just didn't care about me. And so then I tried to figure out, what do you do with that?
And you know that to be true.
I know that to be true. This wasn't an accident, but he just didn't care about me. He had another family. He was with them. I would go there, and I would be my usual wonderful self, and it didn't work. So when Oprah asked the question, so what happened? The thing I understood early on was I had this wonderful fantasy of what I thought a father should be. Every day, for my own kids, a man who was there, who loves, who will say he loves you, who will show up at everything. Oh, my kid, you do anything. I don't care how lousy you are. I'm going to be there cheering and rooting because I wanted someone to be there for me. And so I think part of what men can do is they can take this pain that they feel and they can actually say, I'm going to be that great father to some other child, whether it's your own biological child or not, and I'm going to see the joy when I show up.
Give what you didn't have.
Give what you
can do it. You can do it, and it matters to young people.
It's your boy Yuck Mouth. I can understand about what these people are talking about because I myself was fatherless, so I get what they're saying. I always thought it was my fault that my father wasn't involved in my life, but as I grew older, I realized that he made a choice. Me and him, we're not father and son, but we're decent. We get to know each other, so it's just a sad situation. So my love and shouts out to those fatherless sons out there, daughters. Y'all keeping y'all head up. I know it ain't easy, but you got your boy out here rooting for you. This is your boy Yuck Mouth. You know I got you covered. Peace out.